Okay, thank you. Yeah, apparently their clocks are 8 seconds ahead of mine, so I'm going to start just like that. All right, here we go, guys. In the top right side, our blue Terran is Time. Our red Protoss is Harstem. Let's kick off into game number 1. Obviously, Shopify have a 2-0 lead right now. 1 map win for Harstem will put them onto match point. 2 map wins closes out the series already. And that's why it's very important for Time to pick up a win here. Time's been good this season. He did 2-0 Neeb in this event not so long ago, and has the best record of Kaiser Gaming so far this season, earning himself the ace position. Harstem is in Canada, by the way. Early morning for him. Play some StarCraft 2 in the Shopify offices, Shopify Rebellion headquarters, and they are going to be boot camping there ahead of Atlanta. Playing some games, getting some practice in. Escaping away. It's going to see STV nibbling against the probe and the orbital command on the way up from Time. The Nexus starts on the side of Harstem, and as Harstem gets the Nexus started, we are going to be seeing the command center from Time. He tries to block this for a little bit. Obviously, you can only do so much with that, and the STV just builds it out of position. So, still forces it to lift and land again. The Marine will get a shot or two off on the probe. No Reaper to open up with here. Going to be a little bit different to usual then. Well, yeah, just not going to have the scout. I mean, Stargaze is not the easiest map to get in and scout on, so Marine first is understandable. We'll see exactly where we take this as well. You'd imagine some way to scout at some point, whether that's a Hellion off the factory. Even the Widow Mine drop can be some kind of scouting, although it would be a little bit of a later scout compared to some other things. And getting some extra shots off, and just going to be seeing Stargate ticking along here for Harstem at the moment. So that's going to be his opening. Probably some Phoenix, if I had to make a little bit of a guess as to what we might see style-wise in this one. Harstem's been very fond of the Phoenix as of late. Phoenix into Charge, a Phoenix into Colossi. All have been very effective and decent and stuff. Adept shades through, heads up. This ramp and is going to be cancelling up there. Just trying to pick up information there as the first Phoenix on the way, and we're straight to the Robo facility. This is a great map for playing Phoenix Colossus on, because the Phoenix nullify one of the main weaknesses of you have on this map as a Protoss player, which is it's a pretty good map to try and drop into the main base on, etc. So that part of it you obviously want to stay away from a little bit. And the Phoenix do protect you from that. And if the Phoenix are protecting you from that, then I think everything else can go pretty well. Is this on max freaking quality? Like, the quality looks like it sucks today. And now it's just not loading. Sorry, guys. God damn it. Why are you like this? Can we have 1080? There we go. I was like looking at the production time, I'm like, oh my god, it's so fuzzy. Sorry guys. We get back in. So yeah, Phoenix popping now. Time doesn't really know much of what's going on. Like I say, he didn't really commit to anything that gives him scouting information, right? So doesn't really get to figure much out in that regard. As you see the medevac loading up a group of Marines, and they will begin to move out through the top of the map, but of course the watchtower is held, so Harstem will have a little heads up that this medevac is coming, and it's just a group of Marines. It should at this point be fairly manageable. Siege tank producing right now, just going to be seeing the Phoenix coming up, the Robo Bay about halfway done. The Raven producing on the side of Time as the extra barracks are coming in as well. Going to put you into a just solid position, obviously, with the Raven. When you're against the Phoenix, you do have to be a little bit careful. The Phoenix can obviously shoot down a Raven very quickly and very easily if you're not careful. So definitely one thing to be a little bit a little bit cautious of. The Raven in general, if you can keep it alive long enough, is great. Matrixing up a Colossi too is fantastic. But, yeah, I mean, again, just keeping the Raven alive in the first place is generally a challenge when there's going to be this amount of Phoenix on the map. Harstem's Phoenix coming through, a little bit of cleanup, and just going to start moving forwards here as time. Not having an ideal start to the game just yet, as the Phoenix will make their way through and look to try and put some damage out, perhaps. A few Marines getting some damage done. Phoenix taking some shots. That Widow Mine is scary, I was going to say. It felt like he was... Oh my god, he's going to take another hit. That's really bad. That's 2 Phoenix that just died. That is really brutal. It really looked like he was skirting around that Widow Mine pretty intentionally at first. But, yeah, it really looked like that was going to be the case, but obviously kind of backfiring a little bit. As our Phoenix... Yeah, I mean, rough to lose a couple because you want that number to stay as high as possible. Any Phoenix you lose is a lot of potential, you know, harassment disappearing. It's less protection for the Colossi. It's less speed on killing off the drops. Yeah, the Widow Mine's just scattered around. Now we should be able to get rid of this one and the other one as well, so this goes a bit better. Would have loved to see him get rid of the STV there too. Slow down that command center. That seems like almost just a freebie. Seems a bit weird not to commit onto that one as the Phoenix is back over the side. I will get rid of it. Like I said, just kind of a freebie in my eyes, but... yeah. It took a while to decide he wanted it. Sometimes, yes, you can't just take every freebie that's offered to you. Sometimes you gotta ask, hey, is this a little bit too good? Is this a little bit too good to be a real deal? Time starts pushing, and we do see him with a couple tanks. That Raven, like I say, is generally tough to keep alive, but he's kept it alive so far. Let's see if he can get it all the way across the map. But now the Phoenix grab one of the low HP medevacs, and those Phoenix should continue to contest these air units from getting too far ahead of the rest of the force. Any little bits of pieces of damage you can add onto that for the moment is obviously very, very strong, as Raven will move forward here, and we do have the Phoenix going to come in. The Raven does get the Matrix off before it goes down, and that's immediately Harston just going to evacuate the third base. I think he realizes that with the Colossus down, he's not really stopped this from getting into the position he wants it to stop being in. And now we're going to see a drop going to the top side toward the main base, and Harstem is in a world of trouble. Third base down, and he comes through, snipes down a medevac. He should see the medevacs on the top, and it being seen at least means he can move up here, and they didn't continue to unload, so actually Harstem, no! Why are we loading up the units? I feel like those were free, again, just medevacs that could have been killed off easily. I mean, he does kill most of everything, but it really felt like that. He could have just had the medevacs and then maybe start playing the lifting game, just because everything stopped unloading, but of course, in the moment, maybe didn't quite notice. Well, an awful moment for Harstem losing the third base, but into quite a good moment cleaning up 20 supply on the top side. He did kill a lot of medevacs during the push, and he killed the Raven as well, so there was a lot of value, across the board overall. There's a couple of Vikings still coming through, an additional starport building from time. He recognizes, of course, against Phoenix Colossus, as many Vikings as you can get is generally going to be the best way to go about this here, so heading in toward that for now is a Marine on the top, still holding the watchtower. And just as things settle down for just a moment, hello and welcome everyone from the Pig stream. Hope you guys had a lot of fun watching the Pigfest finals. I've had it on my other screen as well. There's some pretty cool games. So welcome. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you enjoyed those games, and welcome to what is our second series of the World Team League today. Second at best of 7. We already saw DBG didn't miss much in the first one. DBG looked like Dragon Phoenix Gaming. They looked like absolute, well, they looked like absolute beasts, quite frankly. They did a very good job of controlling the series and just winning out. So this one, a little bit more interesting. Beyond opened 2-0 over Spirit. Pretty good games. Beyond pulling off the comeback in game number 2. And now obviously Harstem against Time is maps 3 and 4. And Scarlet takes on Raynor for maps 5 and 6. Just pulling further back as we have a few more moments. Zergiel dropping the 5 gifted subs in the chat. Thank you so much for your generosity. Going out of Broken Symmetry, Super S91 Turbo, Rolo Tico, Snickers SC2, and Pylon Pants. I would not like to wear pylons for pants. They are very spiky. I think they look very spiky. Thank you so much for Zergiel for the generosity of the gifted subs. There's Here, Time is going to very generously give Harstem a handful of bio units. And Harstem is pushing forward with this little Protoss army. I mean, I say a little, it's quite sizable, isn't it? A bunch of Colossi, a lot of Zealots, Archons in play as well. In we go. As just going to be seeing the Vikings starting to move through and looking to try and hunt down Colossi and Phoenix alike. The Prism, down, not target fired. I thought we were going to jump on the Prism there with the Vikings and then remove the Warpins. Does get rid of a lot of the Phoenix though, so that's a good win. Archon's trying to do exactly that, get some splash on those Vikings and try to stop those from being so powerful in that location. Also wants to open these rocks as well, so he has a bit more kind of more of a sway of how things are going, a bit more mobility. Vikings should get rid of a Colossus here. One of them is very low, the other one then got targeted instead. The Archon's lasting for quite a while, and Harstem, is this fight good enough for him? He's got a few units left on the ground. It's hard to see exactly what. He is winning out on the ground, in fact. It was just hard to see what was going on because the Vikings were kind of covering the majority of Harstem's ground force. The Colossi did all go down. The Viking count falls heavily. Can't imagine Harstem's going to rush back into Colossi. He's going to start building Disruptors instead. He doesn't have Blink yet. If you want to play Disruptors, generally you're going to play kind of Blink Disruptors. Have that full army be like very mobile, very active, and especially as Liberators are coming up, you're going to absolutely need Blink here, so... A little scared, actually. I feel like this is not quite ideally where Harstem wants to be with no Colossi right now. Like I say, it's tough to justify going back into Colossi. It takes a long time to get back to 3, which is where they're really powerful. I do like the Dark Shrine, given those harassment opportunity, or harassment options. A chance is obviously very good. Generally, DTs are very good in PvT, especially later into the game. So, I'm very happy to see the Dark Shrine coming down, as Harstem has continued to expand throughout this, by the way, and is sitting on the 5 bases against the 4 of Time. Medivacs get chased away through the top, and just going to be seeing the Planetary Fortress still sat in the center. They make it hard for Harstem to push into that location, and of course that's just a natural pushing location for Harstem in this situation as well. So it's kind of just a thing all around also. Liberator Roll Siege, a lot of Libs really covering this area. I get a little worried for Harstem that the Liberator count is coming up to be so high so soon. Typically, Libs are quite difficult to deal with only Stalkers, but you can manage against them for a while. I feel like this map's pretty good defensively too, so you can get a lot of Libs in good positions and really stacked up. The range isn't done yet. I guess that really will be the nail in the coffin for Stalkers being able to properly deal with this. Once that happens, I feel like we've got to probably see a bit of a move into... Nice little Disruptor shot. Probably a little bit of a move in towards the Tempests, right? If you're not going to be going into those Tempests, you're probably going to find yourself in quite some trouble as missile turret there goes down. Another Disruptor through the top side, aiming for the Bio and the Ghosts. Quite landing. Well, the Libs continue to siege up, covering the front. Just going to see a little bit of Marine Marauder pressing forward, and Harstem has got the DT starting to warp in. He's halfway to Shadow Stride, and again, that can try and cause some chaos while everything else goes on, although not sure where. Maybe he could blink into like the in-base expand and harass over there. I just don't see really any options at the front. There's a turret here. I guess as you take a 5th base time, you have additional options, additional places you can be attacked in. First Disruptor shots on the top side are great. The Disruptor's on the right. Oh my goodness, he pulled one of them back. If he hadn't pulled that Disruptor shot back, it might have been able to land dead center on the Army of Time. It just faltered at the last second. Maybe not dead center, but it definitely would have had a chunk of units. It was a Disruptor that was further forward that was about to connect. As the Disruptor's DT, comes straight into the main base. There's a turret, but just not enough units. Now a massive Zealot warping into the main base as well. The Prism has slipped around in there, over there, and this is where Time is going to start taking a lot of damage. Immediately, 17 SCVs are dead. Some Ghosts going down. Reinforcements in general are dropping. The Widowmine here does succeed in getting a DT. We should just get rid of the turret there. If we get rid of the turret, then at least you force a scan before the Liberators can clean up. At the same time, Time has been able to at least get rid of the gold base. It stops Harstem from taking too much of an economic lead. Obviously, that is generally a good thing to be doing as well, as upgrades continue to finish for Harstem. +3/+2. Put him onto an upgrade lead as well, as Time has not started his own 3/3 upgrades. Great few moments from Harstem. Gotta be careful right now, though. Time's army is A, large, because he's lost a lot of workers, and B, as the prison goes down, Warpin's cancelled. B, Time's army is actually very strong, because Harstem's army is literally gateway units with a sprinkling of disruptors. They do not typically trade well against a Terran, especially not one that has this many libs, so considering that, plus the fact that Time has a 25 army supply advantage, you have to be very careful here as Harstem about the fights you pick. But that's brilliant, getting a few Liberators that are just stranded and flying askew across the map, just not really where they're meant to be. The pickoffs there as the DTs will continue to pick their way through that orbital command. Time needs to be careful, as the DTs do blink away to the side eventually. I'm just going to jump on this. That planetary force goes down. The disruptors just going to try and catch as many SCVs as they can. We get behind the Liberators there. That maybe could have been a chance to keep on moving forward, in fact, and really go for some more libs. We're going to go for some of them here as we just get one, then we'll be pulling away, using the disruptors to try and zone to the best of their abilities. Keep the Bioforce away. We did finish the base inside the in-base expand as well, so Harstem able to knock that down. Big win for him, big slowdown from Time, and definitely going to keep him away from being able to afford everything he wants to. The Liberator count has been honestly shanked in the last little while as well. It's just been cut away at repeatedly. And now DT is kind of moving forward there, decide just to blink back. Scan is wasted, and this one DT that's left over here is just getting rid of some of the long distance mining workers, so bonus little chunks of damage continuing to be done. The MP comes down, and some of these DTs fallen, although there's still one alive. Big stim from Time. He stimmed absolutely everything there as the Stalkers blink forward. He's already got the Disruptors trying to zone the Bioforce just in case it wants to try and jump onto the Stalkers. And again, he's just making sure these Liberators do not get to really dictate this game. If you have like 6 to 8 Liberators sieging up in positions, then you're going to have an absolute nightmare, right, as the Protoss. But Harstem has ensured that the Liberator count has never stayed that high. He's never let it get out of control. And he's never really been letting it siege up comfortably, as this is the only location Harstem's really had trouble in recently. This gold base is one which he's struggled to keep alive, which, yeah, it's out in the middle of the map, right? And it is the one place Time keeps on finding himself able to get to. As Harstem goes for the kill on this planetary fortress, Time is going to be knocked down to only 2 bases. Well, it doesn't matter so much then if Harstem doesn't have the gold, although right now it's still alive, and Disruptors are going to try and protect it. Full surround coming in. Harstem sees it coming, so he starts to send the Disruptors on both sides. As Time... a little bit of a rage pause into the GG. Harstem has a little bit of a giggle about that. I was like, oh my god, he's paused. Did he lag? But, that's a bit of a rage pause, absolutely. Not happy about it. For sale, if you want to have a look at it, you can check it out. I'll pop the link in the chat, the Twitter link. If you're interested, you can head on over to the Twitter. The second post on that Twitter is a link to their Discord. You can head on over there if you want to check it out, potentially purchase it. The boxes are very cool. I've got my... Hang on. This is from last season's box, but I've got my World Team League t-shirt on today. Super nice quality. Like, there's going to be a hoodie in this box coming up, so yeah. T-shirt is really nice. If the hoodie's anything like it, then it's going to be a pretty darn good hoodie. I'm excited, so check it out. There's a whole bunch of extra stuff in there as well. Just I had the t-shirt on, so I just thought I'd show you guys already, I suppose. Don't brag about the Raynor card. Nothing to brag about, is there? Slowly, I will take a Raynor card, put it aside for you, and do exactly what you would do with it. Keep it very safe, and eventually present it to you. Or I would give it to you, and just before I give it to you, throw it in the bin. Can you imagine? Waterfall opening is pretty standard here so far. It is double gas from Time, so on these shorter maps, sometimes Protoss can be a bit aggressive early, and so it's not a bad thing for the Terran player to be a little bit cautious on their openings. The double gas and the factory before expanding obviously will keep you pretty darn safe. Keeps you in a pretty good position. I scared you, you thought I was going to burn it? Well, I tell you what, Slowly, I'll trade you one for my Pokemon statues at some point in time. At some point in the world, we'll do a Pokemon statue trade thing. Maybe I'm gonna hop up into the main and come through to try and deal some damage. As we head on in here, a little grenade. I'm just gonna be seeing our Stargate coming along for the moment. So Stargate coming through. I'm just gonna be seeing our Adept on the way up as well. Warp Gate, Stargate, all the good stuff, all the usual things. As we get this going. Phoenix production once again. Phoenix actually had a bit of a bad start. In that last game, I mean, 2 of them dying to Widow Mines is kind of brutal, and they kind of melted in the fight pretty quickly as well. The Vikings kind of dying very quickly. Phoenix coming around, medevac. Phoenix just going to be having a little bit of a look around. Robo facility coming through. Phoenix continuing to produce. And again, from Harstem, kind of just playing the same style. This map will be harder for him to kind of get set up on, though. And you can see from time a Liberator already on the way out. That's kind of interesting against the Phoenix, because obviously the Phoenix will have a good chance of intercepting it before it gets across the map and so on. So something to be careful of there straight away as our Phoenix come up into the natural. 2 Marines, a Reaper, and a Cyclone. Coming back around and trying to figure out what they can do. Again, do not want to lose those Phoenix early, though. There comes the push from time. That's awesome. Yeah, the Immortal's going to become essential here. He needs this Immortal to realistically help him hold off this attack. So Immortal becomes very important. The engagement here is going to be of utmost importance as Harstem cancels the pylon on the right side. Recognizing at least that he's not going to easily hold the third, so just going to give up on it for the moment and play the defense for now. The Liberator is going to make this tough, though. I mean, the Immortal is going to have to back away. He's going to go for the Cyclone kill, but now the Immortal is in range of the Lib, but it has healing from a battery. The Phoenix are off to intercept reinforcements, by the way, but that means his Robo is going to go down. That's very bad for the futures. Oh, the Phoenix could have had a Cyclone there, though. Super battery? No. Healing? Is it healing? But is it healing the Robo and there's just no animation? It is. The Phoenix come back around. They eat a Widow Mine shot to start, and one of them goes down. The other 2 are very low as well. Picking off that Cyclone would have been nice. I think he just missed it as he was busy on the other side here. This Robo's not going to live, guys. And with the Robo going down, so will the chance of getting to a Colossus. And with no Colossus coming into play, this is going to become very tricky. Now, Phoenix come through, a couple more Marines getting sniped down, but this push from time is extremely tough for Harston to hold at the moment. Can he get enough done? These Marines just taking a while to drop. Obviously not really any healing available, no batteries to bring things back to health, and that just makes life so tough. Harston will lift with the Phoenix now. Gonna get rid of a Cyclone. No, it drops as the Phoenix dies, and the Cyclone gets saved by the medevac. Very strong micro from time. Really cute play. And I think time might have done what he needs to take the victory here and to obviously keep Kaisi Gaming's hopes alive for the very least an ace match. We'll be able to do so. Harstem. I actually think that Widow Mine on the Phoenix was absolutely brutal this time. Looking a bit disappointed not to get the 2-0, I think, more than anything. Haunted by that first game, delivers in the